Alright, let's set this thing up. Pop this out.
DJP bot said hey at everyone, DJP, Oasis just posted a video. Go check it out. YouTube.com.
Fuck, I thought I shut that thing down. Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, let's get this thing started. This time around, what we want to do is, let's say we grab a model, mostly like from here, CG Trader, some professional models. Let's say boat. So let's say you found a model you particularly like. From here, you purchased it, and now you want to use it here on MMD. So the way you do it is, let's see if we can grab a free model. Okay, random free model. So we go here, download. You wait for it to give you the result, and then you download that one. I already have one which has a couple issues that I want to fix. Sup, John? Yeah, okay. And so the problems you might want to have is that once you import the model, you export it to MMD, and it doesn't quite work. So this is the problems we are going to be fixing right now. So right now, open the Blender, and we don't need any of this. And let's start, and let me show you those errors. Let's import that model. That model was imported using the FBS format, and it was this boat. So you were usually just imported at the 1:1 scale, because you really don't know what scale that model was made in. And so the first thing you would do is import the model, wait for it to get in there. It's there, but you say you don't see it. That's because the model is right there. It's very small. So you want to go there and press highlight it all, and I will press numpad period, so you can zoom in right to it. And this is it. So this is the model we want. The model has a couple items that came with it. Camera and some empties, which you really don't care about this one, so you just care about this model in particular. So let's get rid of all these extra items that are not needed. So select the empty, I'll say delete, and that kind of flip the model to a different location. And I also grab the other one right there and delete those. So there's no more things, but the model is kind of crooked now. That's an easy fix. Select all the model and look at what axis you want to rotate. So the red one we see is our x-axis. So we want to press R, X, and I believe that's positive 90. So in the numpad, just press 90, and that'll flip it. Click anywhere outside the screen, and that'll set it to your value. So that's a way of how you will scale, rotate your model to the appropriate size. So at this point, what you want to do is open up your side menu and open up MMD tools by pressing N. Go here, MMD, and let's find MMD tools. So at this point, you want to press create model, so that way we can export this model. And let's name it as something you will remember. Boat, press English name as boat. The scale value is the scale of your bone. And in this particular one, you don't know what scale this thing is, so let's just press OK. And we have this big giant bone, which usually doesn't matter because you're not gonna be using it for much, only for like placing the model somewhere in your scene. So let's grab this and let's join all these meshes. So first thing you want to do is grab the empty and attach meshes to model. So this is going to attach all the things into this model. And that collapse all the little settings into this. Am I gonna do a new stage? I'm actually working on a simpler island stage right now, but I'm doing a I'm working on my own models, my own palm models. Well, once that's done, then I can publish it entirely, because the ones I currently have right now are very high poly and way too resource expensive for MMD. And my current stage model that I did is kinda too big. I went a bit overboard on its details, and it's too much. So that's kind of like a semi-failed project. So I need to simplify things. Okay, so where was I? We were gonna export this model. From here, you wanna press export while you have the empty selected. And let me delete that one. Crap. Okay, so I want to delete that one, not actually overwrite it, because I want a fresh one. So grab that one again, and then delete selected, yes, and yes, verify. So it's not there anymore. Just to verify that, I'm gonna put like a 0.1 name on it to make it will give you a brand new one. The scale value is still at 1. And this is where the problems might happen and occur. So you think you're doing everything fine and dandy at this point, but let's open up MMD and see our results. Let me find that file location. Here it is. Grab that one, drop it in, and there's our model. As a reference, let me bring in the model. Windows E to open up Windows Explorer. Bring that one. Let's go to finish models. And let's open up Kangi. Give me a PMX model. Where the hell is it? Sample 1. Huh. Alright, let me double check that I'm not bringing in something that's supposed to show. No, not that one. Damn it. Wrong one. That was this one. Alright, there we go. That was the right one, the bottom one. Let me delete the previous one. Alright, so our boat is right there. So we have the scale size bad, and so let's get rid of our model now that we know that the scale value is the wrong size. Let me just hide it. And let me change the background so you can also see a little boat. Not only do we have the scale value the wrong size, but you can also see right through the model. And that is another problem we need to change. So you see from the bottom, you're seeing right through it. It's not something you want to have. And another thing is, it has no textures. Right, so it's a pure blank. So these are the problems we want to fix: the size, textures, and the odd transparency look. Alright, so let me open a brand new Blender, and that way we can start from scratch and get everything going. So let's do this the property. And let me put this on the screen. It's actually the other way around. The model, the boat model, came out to be very small.
Practice time is over. Good job.
Alright, so here's Blender. And we want to get rid of this because it's not needed. Let's bring in our model again by import FBX here and boat. So the scale, you're still not sure which one it is, and we're gonna fix that by using a reference model. So wait for it to come in, and I also don't need that one. Let me just close it. Yeah, don't save. Alright, so we have a model right here. Let's zoom in super close. Don't need that one, which came with it. Don't need that one. And don't need that one. Zoom out. Alright, so our model came from a different program which had different scale values. and that's why we had those extra items that were referring to those. Let's grab that one once again. Let's press R, X, 90, set that one. Alright, so our model is the proper rotation, but now our model is not at the proper scale value still. Let me save this file just in case something crashes, and let's call this boat 01. So that way you won't lose any of your data. First thing I want to do is bring in a model at the right scale that you know of. In my instance, I'm going to bring a model at the scale for MMD size, and I'm using one of my kit models. And let me bring in this one. I'll select somewhere in the middle, and this brought me a right scale one. Shift A, cube. Oh, okay, it did. So apparently, the last time around, it gave me a different scale. Alright, I don't need that one. I just wanted to make sure. Press X, delete. Alright, so now it actually seems like our boat is the right scale size for our model. Okay, grab our model and grab this one. Let's rotate 180 degrees. Okay, let me delete all the okay, I'm not seeing it. So let me press the model and go to MD, and where is the mask? Right here. The bodies. Okay, so it's not working for this import. Damn it. Alright, let me just delete the entire model. Delete. Here's sorry. It's already gone. I'm gonna bring a model which I know doesn't have any of that extra crap. Alright, so this is just the base mesh are set 180. So this has the proper scale values. Let me bring Y. So if the model were to right now sit down, it will be at the right scale size. And so this is what you want. And to export this model at right size, I'm going to be using the same scales I would if I were to export a regular MMD model from real world scale size. So now that you know your model is the right scale, just delete it. If it's not at the right scale, what you wanna do? Let me undo that. All right. So if your model is right here, and it's bigger or smaller, right? So let's say it was right there, and you wanna bring it down to the appropriate scale size. Moving it like this with the S value doesn't give you the results you want. going over here to view. Now we're here to item. So once you set something, your scale value is different, and this should always be a 1-to-1 value. So if you go like this, you can see those things change. Now make sure you grab it all. So you want that to be a 1-to-1-to-1. So you can either move it with the S key or manually. Oops. Move your items like so. And make sure you grab everything at the same time, or else something like this happens and you only scale a couple things out of place. Let me undo that. Select the whole chart thing. Okay, and now if you move it, everything should. It's not grabbing those. I wonder why. Okay, see, either way. My point is that once you set the scale size, the proper size that you want to set those to be 1. So you want to, let's say you want this size. You want to press Control A and rotation and scale. You want to apply this, and that's gonna change these values into a solid 1. So let me do that again, and now let me apply it. And now this is truly at that size. So once you export it, it's gonna be always be at that scale. So you're not gonna end up with something major. So make sure you have this at the right scale, and it should be a solid 111 at your final product. So let's say bring this one, and if you move the model somewhere in space like that one, and you wanna put her or put it at the center or anywhere where your 3D cursor is, which is this little guy, in order to move that model, and it's always referring to the center point, which is this little dot. That's the home axis of your mesh. You can snap that one into wherever position that one is. To do so, you press Shift S, and you open up this little wheel. And to move your model, you select your model first, and then you move it to your cursor, which is gonna snap it right here. So press that one, or just press number 8 your keyboard, and it snaps it right there in space. Right? And now, in order to get that little center point in the center of your model, you press Control S, and you want this one, cursor to world origin, which is not right there. And now you can move your model at the dead center of 0, 0 on your axis. So that's how you go about moving those models. Let me just hide this model first. Select that one. Let me unhide the model. It's unselected by Control Shift Select. Oops, I don't want that to move. And now I wanna once again scale the boat to the right size, which the bench should be pretty close to her knee. Some around that distance. Increase it higher. A bit more. So this seems to be the appropriate size. Okay, so I don't need this one. Let me hide it. And now let's start working with our model. And now, as you can see, our model has a different scale. So once again, you're gonna select it all by pressing A. Selects everything on your scene, and right now everything on our scene is only this thing that's visible. So Blender is currently saving. Okay, it did a save. So press Control Alt. Shift A, Control A, and you want to set your rotation and scale. Press that one, and now your rotation and scale is at the right scale. And now your model is perfectly the size that you want, ready to be exported. Now to fix this issue, which is the transparent parts. You can do that in two ways. The first way would be to make the image or the skin double-sided for each textures for MMD to see. So from one side and the other side, it's going to be seen as two separate sizes instead of just one. Currently, if we go to our normal views, so if you see which way our normals are pointing at, we go over here, face orientation. We can see that a lot of our normals are not pointed on the outside of the model, but they're actually in reverse. So what's happening in MMD, you're only seeing the surface of everything that's blue, and you're seeing right through the model that everything that's the surface with the red. So the normals are actually not set up right for this model. It seems like they didn't even care to adjust them, or it got screwed up in the transfer of the FBX files. Either way, you can fix them manually, or you can let Blender try and do that for you by pressing Alt N. Okay, grab those. Alt N. Oh no, okay, we need to be on Object. So in edit mode. So now Alt N, and you wanna press Calculate Outside. So it's gonna look at everything that is like in case, and it's gonna try and put those towards the outside of the model. We calculate outside. So press that one. And now Blender tried and did its best to do so. So now the model from down here is totally solid. You're not gonna be able to see it through. But from up here, you're still going to have some holes that are gonna be visible. And that's because the model actually only has come on, select. Alright, so we grab that one. Oh, actually, this has actually two sides. Yeah, okay. So let's check if everything's the same. Grab that one. Yeah, okay, so it seems like this has a double-sided. So you can do this manually by selecting a piece of something that's red, and by pressing L, you select everything that's attached to it. So that will be this one section. You want to press Alt N and flip. So that turns around the normals and turns them around. So now you're watching the blue side, and you want to have everything that's visible to your eyes to be blue. So you will go around the entire model, pressing N, that one, and flip. And as long as it's not a single mesh item, a single surface, and this will be the way to do it. So let's go L, and this is the tedious part. I didn't want to press spacebar, and you were gonna go around your entire model and doing that. So that will be the ideal way to do so. So grab that, press N, and keep going and going and going to have all the entire red be converted into blue. Alright. Another way that you can do so, but like doing a little cheat, would be to make your surface double-sided. So it doesn't matter which way your textures are located, MMD will project them on both sides. So that's another way of doing so. The only downside of doing it that way is that this are calculating the reflections the proper way. And this, however, the red sides are not. So if this model is one of your hero models, which you're gonna be close attention to, you wanna do this manually and set them all to be perfectly white. If not, then from here to here you're gonna get some light distortions, and this is the reason why, and that's how you go about to fix it. Let's go the easy route for right now and just do our texture swaps. Alright, you'll grab, okay, we don't need this anymore. Let's go to back to layout, to object mode. We are gonna go to your material settings. Okay, so your model has quite a couple different materials. Actually, let me purge the items from our models. Yeah, it did it. Alright, let me see. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to, oh, it's because it's still here. I need that one. Now purge all those. Yeah, still kept them. Alright, so to make this simple, our current model is separated by a whole bunch of different items. So I'm going to be merging them all into one. So I'm going to select all and control join, and that brings all our atoms into one. So once you grab it, it makes it a whole lot easier. And now all the textures, or at least the texture names, are set to the right location. What you want to do now for MMD, close all those. And you want to go down here to your MMD materials. Alright, so the best thing you can do is grab it, bring it a little bit up so you can see them right next to each other. So let's make this simple, and I'm just gonna be calling it the same name as just a numerical value. 1 for that one, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Actually, it doesn't even have 3. We're gonna be putting the same one, so it's gonna be easily a reference. Alright, so that one's called this O1. Select the other material, let's call this O2. Let's go to that one, let's call this O4, not 3. And let's call this O5. And O6 for that one. Alright, so there's O3. O3. And this one's O. Since that one didn't have a name. Alright, so now you scroll down one and they all have the Japanese names. You want to set those to the English ones, have the same name over there, if you want to be able to display them on your panel. If not, then you use at least to then have this one name. Now you want to set every single one to be right here. You want them to be double-sided. Set that one to be double-sided. Set that one. And go down the list. Double-sided and double-sided. Okay, let me just add the names for the English version. 2. And 3. Alright, so at this point, this model is going to be working for double sides. Let's grab our MMD panel. Let's create a model. Let's call this bold O2, the English name. And now that I do know that this scale value, it is at the MMD size, I'm gonna make the bones the appropriate size too, so that means it's not huge. So this is gonna be the average size of a MMD bone, which is that small. Once you have that one, you want to press A, or if not, you want to just grab the empty, press A, and attach measures to model. Alright, so once you are able to grab the empty and the whole model moves with it, means the model is now attached to this zero section. Now let's export set model. Okay, this one, let's call this one's O2. And now we want to set the appropriate MD scale, which is 12.5. Export. Wait for that to export. Grab our model. So that was the original one. Next, turn on our model. And now let's me get rid of that tiny little toy bolt that doesn't quite work. Grab our newly exported boat. And there we go. We have the boat at the proper scale, and it no longer has the transparency issue. But now it still has no textures. So you can fix that in two ways. You can add a texture to the individual items, or you can, if you just want to change the color of selected items. So let me go and turn this off since that doesn't matter anymore. Let me go to material view so we can actually see the actual materials that we have. Currently it has none. So if you want just to have some colors, you can grab this one and you just change it around. So this will be the base. So let's make that like a semi bluish as the base color. Let me set this one. What's this one? So that one, it's probably gonna be like a grayish one. And that one. So that's the propeller. Let's make that one like pretty much black. This, yeah, let's make that like kind of goldish. And this one, what are you? Okay, so that's this little section. So that should be some kind of like a metallic. So some around there. Let's grab that one, and that's the handle. Handle, let's make it also kind of black. And lastly, I'm not sure, I think that's that one. Yeah, it's that one. So let's make that one like a okay. So if you set these colors right here as a solid base, no textures, just the skin having reflections, you will go about that this way. So let's grab our model, let's export and export our model. Let's grab MD. We delete this boat. Once again, grab our model. And now that model has those shades. So if this is the colors you want to get, if it's something simple, then that's the way you will go about it. By changing in those settings right here. And one other thing you might notice is that the colors you get here on Blender are not the same ones we are getting here on MMD. Because MMD is using a different shader. So from here to that, one thing might work if you go like this. No, it didn't work. Sometimes you can try a couple different things. Alright, they didn't give us a result, but be aware that your colors are not going to be the same. Now, let's say you want to add textures to your model, or your model came with textures and they were never applied to MMD once you did your export. And that is, let me turn those back to the original settings. Alright, let me turn those back to 0. Alright, because that's gonna affect our lights. Go there, there, there. Three more to go. Alright, so our model is back to original source, which was that. You want to add the textures for your model. So first of all, I am going to be adding some basic materials by using some plugins that I have. Let me go to my materials. Let's go with some wood. So another way, if you don't know what materials are what, you can go to your edit, click on the material, and press select. So that's going to highlight what material is separated by that. So that's not one we want. I'm going to grab the wood one, which I think that was the first one. Yeah, that one. So select in the middle, select it again. And I'm going to add this wood material to that one. Okay, so this particular plugin, got rid of all the other ones. Alright, let me not use that plugin. So scratch that. Let me use another one. Let me use this one. Alright, this one will actually do it. So let's say that one. Let me replace that material set. Alright, so that's that wood material. Let me grab that one. Maybe there's one of those. No, it's that one at the bottom. And it's that one. So 2. So 2. Let's add that one. Yeah, okay. And this one is, so it's kind of like a metal one or plastic, most likely. Yeah, let's go with that one. Alright, so that one is the bottom. Actually, let's add the same one. Alright, so those are the same. Those are going to be metal parts. Which is that one. Okay, so the handle. And the bottom section. Let's add, let's go to our metals. Okay, so that's good enough. Let's pick that one, which is that one. Add to that one. Pick that one, select that one. Let's get some metallic goldness. And lastly, the little plastic frame, which should just go like a matte one. Alright, so at this point, let's say you imported your files and you place them into the model and the correct maps and locations. For MMD, you're gonna have to do and add those things again, so they'll get exported. Because right now, if, let me delete this one, delete, come on, wait. Okay, it won't let me delete it. But I'm gonna, oh, this one is, yes. Alright, so they're no longer there. If I go and grab the empty again, gonna be in object mode first. So let's grab the empty and let's say we want to export this one the way it looks. But let's be aware that in our MMD, this thing has no textures. So this is the problem you might have if you imported the textures to Blender but forgot to place them here. Let's grab this, so there's no boat data there. Let me grab this one and make it boat number 3. Right scale. And export, and that should pop out here in a bit. Alright, so there it is. It's fully exported. And down here, Blender gives us the confirmation. Let's open up this one. And now, we should not be having a ugly ass boat like this one, but we were expecting to have something fully textured. Let's delete that one. Grab this one, drop it in. And once again, we have those problems, and the model has no texture still. But yet, this model does. And that is, once again, because once you added brand new textures, the MMD section got reset. It turned back to 0, 0, 0. And now if you select that one, okay, Blender's doing a save. Just wait for it. Alright, say Blender save. What is happening here is everything got a new texture material, and those have no names. And so MMD section is not set up yet. Hence, we got this thing that's half set. So let's fix that now. And let's call this one, wood. And we want it to be double-sided. So now that is the NMD side, which Blender doesn't quite read. And it needs to have a texture set to it. Now here is the part where you need to grab your textures from. The way I grab them from is okay, grab over here, go to edit, select that one. Okay, go to edit mode, select that one. You'll be editing holy shit, this thing's really a dirty export. And what you want to do is grab your set the right texture. It's gonna be the diffuse, the alpha, or whatever set you have. Here, if you go to texture paint, you can actually see which file it is. If not, you can go here and grab it. But you wanna grab and add those to keep some moving. You wanna add them here. So the best way to do so is grab it here, and I will do a save a copy. Go to your file where you have your model save, and let's make a new file, and let's save our color texture. Save as. So you go here, you go and add that texture, and now that texture is assigned to your MMD tab, and that texture is right here. Now it's no longer white, but you can actually see it now. Now if we export that one, it's gonna be linked to this file, and it's gonna have that one. Now we want to do that for every single item of our models. So you grab that one, go to texture paint, and that is your model. Save as, or save a copy, and this is wood 10, and let's add that one. That's wood 10. So that one's set for that one. Let's repeat the process and do that for every single one. So that one. So make sure you're always grabbing the right map, which is the diffuse. So this metal one. Let's add metal 1 to it. So that's that one. So metal 28. Now if you know where they are already located, then you can just press the add. But since I don't particularly know where these maps are actually stored in the PC, I'm using this method to find them and making a copy and placing them in a place I do know where they're going to be. So it's 28. Let's go to the last one, which I believe is the last one. Let's go to diffuse, yes, save a copy, diffuse 7, okay, so now let me just scroll. Okay, that one doesn't have one. So here I just want to check that they all have texture set, and that one's missing one. Let's go to that one, image, save a copy, and this is plastic 1. Let's add plastic 1 diffuse. Got it. So this one doesn't have one, but we're gonna be using the same texture, so I know what that one is. So it's plastic 1. It's gonna be using the exact same one. Alright, so now your model has all the appropriate settings, but it doesn't have names. So we can do that. That one's plastic. Let's go PA for plastic. And you press the same name, it's gonna add the little siphon. But notice it doesn't do it for the English section. So let's call this wood. Let's go with, and for metal, makes that one, and then Alright, so now they're all named. Let's do a control save. After this, you are set. Let's do a export, and all those files are going to be packed into a folder, and they're going to be ready for your model. Okay, select your empty, press export, and here, to make sure you have everything exported, you will prefer to make a brand new a folder and export everything to it. And this should be a final where everything should work at this point. Let's export. When you have MD, we don't need that one. Then we're still working. And there gives you the confirmation that's finished. And now your boat has the mesh data, and also it exported the texture files, which are extra large here. It exported all the appropriate files with it. So let's bring that one into our model. And now your model, it is fully textured. So you'll make sure you bring in the appropriate textures that fit your model. But this is the way how you will go about fixing problems that you might have when you purchase a professional model and it either doesn't have textures or the textures are funky here on MMD. Okay, and that is set for this section. Alright, so I'm gonna be cutting this section out of the video and then see if I can streamline it. The rest of the night, what I'm going to be doing is, I don't need that anymore. Why? Cancel that. What the hell? Let me. There we go. Alright. So the rest of the night, I'm going to be working on some tattoo designs, which right now I have this. I'm gonna make a couple patterns that are gonna be functional for like wound tattoos, mostly. Alright, let me cut out this stream and then restart again, so I get a fresh new